So on our snubber or a bridle, we tried this combo here, but I couldn't get this to actually work on a Catalina, and I'll show you why in just a few minutes. It's probably a good hook, just couldn't get it to hook on our chain correctly and go through our windlass. So we're gonna go up and take a look at it. I'm gonna show you what we got now. So this is going to be the setup we're going to try now. This is one of the Mantus 2 hooks. I think it's a 5/16, which is what our chain is. So we're going to try this and see if this will work. I'll show you how we're going to do it. First we've got to undo the limiter and then get it out and run it through the hoop. We have a hoop at the end, so we'll have to put it through that hoop, bring it back here, and then run it out with a windlass. We'll see if all that works. First thing we got to do is let the anchor down. Well, no matter how much I push the buttons, the anchor wouldn't go up or down. Let's go see if it's on. So I've had trouble with the windlass before. It would just quit. And couldn't quite figure out what's going wrong with it. The time we had to get pulled in, we couldn't get the windlass to work. We come in here and flipped the breaker. We thought the brake had been cut off by the toolbox, and maybe so, but we flipped it on and off, so I'm not sure if it was really off or not. But the windlass is up in the V-berth. You gotta take this panel off. I'll show you where it's at. So here it is, up in there. Yeah. So it's kind of in an odd place, hard to get to. Then they got the box mounted backwards, so you can't even get the cover off of it. Finally got the cover off. This is the cover looked like. But finally got the cover off of it, and then I found this wire right here broke. It had been soldered on the back of the terminal strip. So I jumped it out and put it on the front. That's not going to help us for being waterproof, but it'll help us for getting it going for right now. I think we're gonna see if that's gonna make it work. I hope so, and if it does, then I might replace that whole box. But anyway, let's hope that's it, because we're gonna need that anchor. Need the anchor and the windlass to get it back up with soon. Let's see if this windlass will work now. I hope so. We'll let it out and we'll go put the snubber on it. Okay, I've installed the new Mantus anchor hook along with the shackle on the end of the snubber itself. That's a Mantus snubber also. So I've already pre-installed that. Now, the trick is you have to get the hook out past the end of the anchor chain roller, and there's a hoop out there that you have to get it back through that hoop. So you have to go out past the hoop and pull it back through the hoop towards the winch itself, or windlass itself. And that way, when the chain runs out, it'll run right back out through the hoop and then tighten up on the anchor chain. Once you tie it to the sides, you know, put it on the two cleats, the two portions of the snubber itself. So this kind of trick to get it back through there, but I kind of figured it out. It looks a little odd trying to do it the first time, but once I figured it out, it wasn't too difficult. It actually turned out pretty good, and I was able to get it on the chain itself and get it all hooked up in it. It worked perfectly.
Your fantasy? Can I be your inner dream? I wanna be the line you walk.
make sure when you put it on the chain, the hook itself, that it's going in the direction that the chain's going to go back out. Looks a little odd when you first put it on there, but it's got to go in the same direction that the anchor itself will be pulling on the chain. There's also a little strap that you flip over and you put on a little stud there that keeps it closed, and that keeps, it's like a nylon strap, and that keeps the hook on the chain so it can't come off.
Sweet Caroline, I want your loving all the time. Should I stop the search with you? I wanna stop the search with you. Cut the looks and leave with me. I lay my dreams beneath your feet. Tread softly, stare me down. I'll take the plunge and hope to drown. Ooh, can I be your after all? I wanna be your midnight call.
Yes, and I know all this looks a little complicated when you're trying to figure it out the first time. I couldn't really find a really great video that showed me how to do this when you had a hoop on the end of your anchor chain roller. So, you know, kind of figured it out as I went. But once you kind of figure it out, it's not too bad at all. And I'm sure second, third, fourth time will be much faster. Basically, just get it around the end of the anchor itself and then bring it back and put it on one of the cleats. Another thing we have two anchors on the front, so you have to kind of get it around that anchor. That kind of complicates it a little bit, but like I say, after you do it once or twice, it's really not that bad at all. At this point, all you have to do is just get the ends on the starboard and the port side and put them on the cleats, and then you'll be ready to get this thing ready to work. Make it kind of easy as you run the anchor hook back through the hoop. Make sure it doesn't get hung up on anything. Good to have a boat hook there to be able to push it a little bit and get it through the hoop first time. You'll have to do this a couple of times, it'll be much easier. Then you just let the anchor chain out, back down on the anchor until there's a loop in the anchor chain and the snubber takes effect, and all the pull is on the snubber then. In order to get all of this back up and get the snubber disconnected, you just reverse the procedure. As before, take it kind of easy when you have the anchor hook coming back through the hoop itself. And use your boat hook to kind of help guide it through so it doesn't get hung up and bend anything. Now you can raise the anchor chain back up. Just make sure you take it easy coming back through the hoop with the anchor hook. Make sure it doesn't get hung up and bend anything. Once you get it back up in the boat, then you can disconnect it. To disconnect it, you just take the strap back off of the peg, and then you can pull the hook off of the chain. Just remember it's hooked on the link, so it's a little bit hard to get off. So you can just kind of wiggle it and it'll come right off. At that point, you can clip your strap back on and get ready to pull the snubber back in. You can just pull the snubber lines right back through the hoop. Just disconnect them from the sides and it'll pull right back through the hoop. Makes it really easy to get back in the boat. once you get your snubber in and out of the way, then you can use the winch to pull the rest of the anchor chain back up and put the anchor back in its roller and in position, and you're ready to go. So that's how you use the snubber and the new anchor hook. Next episode on
So
Dream
we're back
Weaver
on
Recipe.
some more boat projects. I hope you guys are not getting tired of boat projects, but a lot needs to be done so we'll be able to make those long trips and not have to work on a boat. I know, sailboat, you know, it's sailing so that you can work on boats in exotic lands, but I'm trying not to do that. So today, what I'm gonna do is, when I'm gonna put in a plug where I can plug my shore power into my little generator. Now some generators have a plug big enough for like an RV. Mine doesn't have that, and we're thinking about getting one that's a little bit bigger, maybe a 4,000 watt. But right now we got the 2,000 watt. Now I think that's gonna pull what we need to do, and we'll just have to timeshare on stuff.